Welcome. This is Caitlin Vastola. I'm your marketing manager at Lift Brands. So me, Brenna, and Megan are all here to help you assist. And specifically on a daily basis, I'm thinking about ways that you can, put marketing activities into motion at your studio. So I'm going to go through today specifically the importance of a social media strategy and different platforms that you should consider for all of this. So let's get started. Why not, right? Okay, so today I just want to kind of give you a quick overview. I'm going to go over 6 reasons why it's so important for you to have a social media strategy. So just some, info to have in the back of your mind to understand why you take the time to consider social media. I'm also going to go over planning and digital stack, what we offer, how to use it. And then I'm going to go over some Facebook ad strategy that we've put together from our experiences here of running ads. So those 6 reasons that it's really important to have social media strategy. First and foremost is that social web is still growing. It has been growing year over year. It is not going to slow down. Well, it might slow down a little bit, but there are still a lot of people adopting to social media. So this improved mobile connectivity has increased that whole on-the-go lifestyle, that on-the-go social activity, so that at any time I could pick up my phone and I could find out information about anything that I could potentially want. So mobile devices are really allowing this whole increase of access to internet and information, but it's kind of important to understand that it's also older user adoption. The fastest growing demographic on Facebook is 45 to 54, that whole age bracket, which is kind of surprising. You would think it would be younger, but when people say, oh, it's just young people on Facebook and no one's really on there and my audience isn't on there, I would beg to differ. There's a wide range of people on there, and the fastest growing is that 45 to 54 age bracket. So whether they're going on there to catch up with friends, share content, watch videos, social media usage in the US is just increasing at a steady rate. And people are going online. Typically, their key driver to get online is to socialize. So as people are spending more time online, consuming more content than ever before, you may think that social media, Facebook, Instagram, that space is saturated, and that maybe you just shouldn't get involved. And it's not justifiable. And I would argue with you, probably till I'm red in the face, but it's so wrong. It's really important to create a targeted social media strategy that will help you focus on using relevant platforms, depending on the market that you're in, to connect with existing, new customers, prospects, and to really avoid simply adding noise. So putting thought behind your plan is going to help you stay out of that noise that everyone else is kind of creating. You've probably seen it when you've been on social. You get annoyed, seeing ads. So if we put some thought behind what we're promoting, it's going to help not be part of the noise. Number 2 on the importance is purchasing decisions are influenced by social media. All major platforms, Facebook and Instagram specifically, are heavily invested in their advertising solutions. So they're making it easier because they want to lure in you as an owner and any marketers, really, because they promise this improved API, which is the application program interface, meaning it's just simply easier to use for the end user. And they're making it easier to target people in a smart way so that you spend your money the way that you want. And this includes the ability to upload email lists, to run personalized remarketing campaigns. So nearly half of social media users are already using social media platforms while thinking about making a purchase decision. 40%, so almost half of those users, are actively deciding what to buy based on what they have seen on social media platforms, whether that's reviews, recommendations, your ads, and it's only set to grow. So as far as we're concerned, well-versing yourself in strategy in Facebook ads and Instagram ads is only going to help because it's only going to become a bigger part of your business. Peer recommendations also have the most influence on purchases. So you'll want to plan on how to encourage people to share about your studio, to talk about your studio, to check in, to leave reviews. And that's why, specifically in February, we put together that whole Buddy Pass campaign. You can also do things like a check-in contest. You want to make sure that people are engaging with your social media platform so that their friends and family sees it, and it can help make that purchase decision. So number 3, A lack of strategy for social media is essentially going to hand over the advantage to your competitors. So a lot of you open studios in great markets, right? I mean, all of you did, but more than likely you've got a competitor or two in the area. And so by having a strategy and a framework to work through, meaning that you plan, you prioritize, you execute, you measure, and look back at the results, it's going to help you. So this typically will lead to better results because the activity has direction. It's just not put out there because I feel like I have to do something. It's put out there because you have an action behind it. So the direction will be ever evolving as you learn from the real data. So as you run ads, you'll look back and always tweak to make them the best they can possibly be. If you invest in a social media presence without a clear strategy, you're not going to know whether or not your campaign is successful, right? So for example, if you simply post content to appear active, you're like, oh, I haven't posted in a few days, I probably should put something out there, but you don't put any thought behind it. How do you know that that content is actually contributing to your studio positively? And what if it's actually putting people off your brand? So really putting thought behind it is going to be great. Without a structured approach to communicate, to measure, you're going to risk wasting your resources. That is a mouthful. Risk wasting your resources on undirected activity. So really time and money. Why would we waste time and money? So we got to put a little thought into it. Meanwhile, if you're not doing this, your savvier competitors are going to be working smarter at engaging their customer base with clear goals. So our objectives, our targets have to be on point so that our performance can be measured and then our results can be reported and we can do better and better and better every week, every month, however we're looking at our reporting. Number 4, your customers are active on social media. You already know this. We know this because we watch on social media quite a bit. Our corporate profile, our studio's profiles, even though it's only a subset of your total audience, it's likely that most of your consumers, your prospects, are going to be getting their information from social media. So you're going to need a strategy. You're going to decide how to connect with your customers, and it's not a tactical decision. It requires strategic thinking. So social needs to align with your other communication channels as well. So you have to consider when you send emails, when you're passing out flyers, when you're doing a direct mail, because there are processes and tools in place to cope with demand. So if there's going to be a big influx, you want to strategically decide when certain content's going to go out, if you can only handle so much at one time, right? So mobile, social, and other underlying technologies that people are using have combined to provide an environment in which people can access, use, and share information on their terms, not on your terms. Meaning that if I'm maybe I'm in a trial pass or I'm a member, and I hear that maybe a snowstorm is coming, and I'm in the middle of a meeting at work, and I'm wondering, oh, well, I'm going to leave work early, but I wonder if the studio is going to be open so I can walk over and take a class. Because they can't pick up the phone and call, they might just go to your Facebook page. And if you haven't shared anything about it, they won't know. So just kind of a reflection is, friends of mine are rarely reading blogs and emails anymore. They're going to use Facebook to get their content and to get information. So just consider that and understand the role that social plays in your customer communication. Number 5, there are key influencers in every social network. So don't underestimate the power of peer or influencer recommendation. So for years, retailers have been using this. They know that customer ratings and reviews can increase the conversion rates through the power of the peer influence, feedback from another customer. And it's typically seen really trustworthy when other consumers and their friends are leaving their experiences online. So social media channels all have influencers. So obvious celebrities, which are probably out of our price range, to these self-made social media stars like video bloggers. So if you haven't done so already, I would highly suggest doing some research. Who are influential, fitness-minded, yogi-minded people in your community that you can reach out to and invite to co-host a class? Or maybe you want to invite them for a private class that they can invite 20 friends to for free, and ask in return that they share their experience on social media, whether it's on their channel if they've got a lot of followers, whether they're writing up a story that you could use in your promotional material. So just consider that. these high street retailers often employ trendy influencers. So it's just simply to amplify your marketing message. So example is Brian Pyatt. You'll see him in the gray tank on the left, and he's in the middle of a group of girls on the right on a yoga magazine. He works for KARE 11, which is a local news station here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And he helped lead some yoga events at Yoga Fit Studios. And he participated and he co-hosted some of them. So it's something that you can have kind of that connection with an influencer that can help boost your business and get people kind of interested and get that buzz going around your studio. Just know, if you're not part of that influencer's world, you're not going to be relevant. So you risk losing mind share to more socially aware competitors if you aren't willing to be bold and reach out to them and, have no shame in asking them to participate and have some fun at your studio. It's just a lot easier to get your message across to the end customer if they are influencing other people already. Number 6, reputations can be enhanced or destroyed on social networks. So we haven't obviously probably seen a ton or any of destroyed really, but it's something to be mindful of when we put together a plan and a strategy, because reviews, check-ins, comments, postings, all can be amplified online. And people really love to share their views. They love to share their experiences, good or bad. And it can really be something that you should consider talking about and asking for, especially if your member base is having a good experience at your studio. So giving people a voice and asking for that is a really strong suggestion that we have. So just a little bit on strategic planning. So every month you're going to be getting the success calendar, the success checklist. Most of you have seen this already. It's that marketing plan that we put together on a monthly basis. So this is February, which we kind of really took it a step up. And I think we're going to continue to do that, especially if we see results from this Buddy Pass campaign. Along with this strategic plan, we provided the campaign planner for the Buddy Pass and a lot of assets surrounding it. So we understand that not everyone can run the same play and it doesn't work in every market, but these are our suggestions to you. And we've put a lot of time and thought behind each one of these tasks. But if something doesn't apply to you, you don't have to do it. And you can do, more if something fits in your studio more than what we put on there as a suggested effort. But just know that each month we're going to build a strategic plan and suggestions for you and your marketing efforts. This is also going to be reflected in your digital stack. So just know that we're always going to put it in there. You can delete items off of there. You can add items off of there. What I have noticed is a lot of people are skipping the plan section. And I know this because of that little green that says built for Facebook. It means that people are going straight to the build and schedule area. They're picking their template and they're just posting it, rather than putting thought behind it and looking at their calendar as a whole and looking at each item and determining, well, this is what's planned. I'll do this one or I won't do this one and I want to do something else. But I would suggest making an effort to start from the plan area and really put some thought behind what you're going to be sharing weekly, monthly, daily, what your content will be. And I personally think that Digital Stack Planner is a great thing to discuss during your monthly meeting with your staff and your instructors. It's just a really good tool to use when you're discussing the plan of action and maybe goals that you have each month. So if you have goals like every month we want to increase our likes by 30 people, maybe you need to add a few tasks in there and put it on top of one of your managers. What can they do every month to increase our likes, right? And then execution should be included in your planning and then that thoughtful preparation. So just know that that'll always be there for you. And if you do have questions about how to be strategic, if something doesn't apply for you and you need to try a different play, feel free to always reach out to Megan or myself. Brandon's here to help too. And we'll always be happy to chat about that with you. So on to some Facebook ad strategy. So just some things I want you to consider as you go and start building out your Facebook ads or the next time that you do. Okay, let me tuck this away quick. Okay, so first thing, consider your marketing objective. These are 4 that we typically suggest. Local awareness. So local awareness is a type of ad that only runs on mobile devices, meaning that if I'm on my mobile device looking at Facebook and I'm within a certain radius of your address, I may potentially see your ad. I think this is a really smart ad to just kind of run to create buzz, to get the trials in. But maybe engagement is more important to you. Maybe you have a post or a promotion that you want to run, and getting engagement is really important. That would be another one. Video views. A lot of people just like to run a video in the background of Facebook as an ad for an entire month, just to create some buzz, not really aligned with an action. I mean, I would still include an action, but it's more of a passive ad than a really aggressive ad, because really that experience is shining through in that video, and that's what people are watching. And then the next one is lead generation. This is a new one from Facebook. I personally have not tried it out. I have heard from other businesses that have had success with it. So if it's something that you haven't tried before and you're looking for something different to shake it up in Facebook, lead generation is an ad that will run. And if they click on it, they'll go to a landing page. Not the landing page that we created for you, but one that you actually create within Facebook. And when that person clicks on it and it opens up the landing page, it autofills their information with the personal information they provided to Facebook. So they don't have to sit through and type out Caitlin, Caitlin. Facebook does it for them. So it's a really quick way to get their data into a landing page. And then all they have to do is click submit. The one downfall of this is it does not attach to your prospect engager. So you need to be active and go into Facebook on a regular basis, daily even, and get those leads so you can chase them, right? So those are just some options. Consider what your objective is before deciding which ad you're going to run. Then the next one is to consider your ad placement. So a couple options here. Automatic placement. They say it's recommended, and it's because they're going to automatically show it to where your audience is and where it's performing best. Facebook is going to determine which platform it's going to do best on, and it's going to allocate most of your funds in that. Or you can edit the placement. So maybe you don't want it to run on Instagram because you're just not super active on Instagram yet. You can remove it. You can also remove Messenger. Audience Network is websites that are directly affiliated with Facebook, probably partially or majority or all owned by Facebook. And they also show up on there. So you can kind of decide where you want your ad to show. Do you want it on Facebook? Do you want it on Instagram? Do you want it in the Facebook Messenger or not? So just something to consider. Next one is consider your spending options. So you're going to be able to set your budget and your schedule, and then you're going to be able to optimize that ad delivery. I have the two main bullet points under here is the monthly and the weekend offers. So kind of two different strategies that we have ran, and that is monthly. So you'd run one ad for the full month, and maybe let's just say it's the 1 week free trial. That's really important to you. You just want to get people in the door because you know that once they get in the door, they're gonna have a great experience and you're gonna convert them after they take one burn class, because that's how awesome your instructors are. So maybe it's just running an ad, setting that lifetime budget to maybe $150, $200 for the entire month, and getting people into your doors. Or maybe you take a different approach. You consolidate that same fund, maybe it's 150, maybe it's 200, to a shortened period of time, meaning that there's more pressure and more funds per day. So maybe you're running a weekend offer, and you know that you want people walking in your doors on a specific weekend because you are going to offer some type of promotion, but only for that weekend. So you maybe would run your ad Monday to Saturday rather than for the entire month. You're going to run it a few days before the sale actually starts to create buzz. You're going to run it throughout the weekend sale to continue the buzz. But two different types of spending options here. You could really honestly run both at the same time if you wanted to. Have one always running in the background, maybe a monthly video ad that's always promoting the 1 week free trial, because that's never going to go out of style. And then maybe one weekend a month, you decide you're going to do a $10 off dues or whatever you are going to promote. Maybe it's a free yoga mat with every person who joins, but maybe it's only for that specific weekend. So then you can consolidate your budget to a little bit of a tighter time frame. Fourthly, I want you to consider your ad options. Lots of options here. Carousel, single image, single video, and slideshow. So one thing I do want to mention is if you do select single image, if you're new to Facebook ads and that just seems like a safe bet for you, at least include 4 image options. And that's because Facebook is going to optimize whichever images are doing the best. If one is underperforming and not getting as many clicks as version 2, they're going to stop putting money into version 1 because version 2 is performing better, and Facebook's going to say, well, we want you to get the biggest bang for your buck, so you keep coming back and spending more money. They're going to put more of your funds and allocate it directly to ones that are performing. So you can do up to 6, but I would at least include 4. Single video is, just like when we send you maybe the burn promo video, or I think we're gonna have another one coming here a little bit later in spring. It's just a single video ad that can run. And video ads are really engaging. So a lot of times it kind of is not that noise that people are used to, but it makes them stop and want to watch because people are moving. And then carousel ads. I personally haven't had any slideshow experience. I'm not quite sure how that has worked for any of our studios. So if someone's ran one of those, I'd love to hear from you. But carousel ads can be really great if you are taking pictures maybe at an event and they all kind of look similar and it tells a story. You could put multiple images in there and they can scroll through and then click through to your ad. So lots of different options here, but just consider what you feel like will get you the best return for whatever promotion that you're running. And then I just want to mention some Facebook ad mistakes that we've heard or we've had ourselves. First one is targeting a huge audience. So that's the idea of, well, I really want to make a really big net because then I'll catch more fish. It's not always the case. Sometimes it could just be simply wasting your money. So we actually suggest, instead of targeting hundreds of thousands of people, fine tune that audience maybe down to like 30,000 people. And then target those people maybe on different interests. Select different interests that kind of surround your studio culture, fitness, yoga, etc. And then when you're done with your ad, look back at the results. Which one of those key interests performed the best? Maybe one didn't perform very well. And then just remove those poorly performing interests as well. Second one is using less than perfect ad layouts. So that's why we have those ads in Digital Stack. We have them sized perfectly for you. You can also crop them if you take photos and you want to use a nice, crisp, clean, well-lit photo from your studio or maybe an event. You can crop it in Facebook when you upload the photo. They'll ask you to do so that it fits. The idea here is that you should be adding multiple so that you can see which ones are going to do the best. Third is tracking only 2 metrics. So some people will only look at how many people clicked on my ad and how many conversions did I get. Really, we should be looking at so many more things than that. We should be looking at specifically reach and impressions. And then we should also be looking at each of our images and seeing which ones perform the best, or each of our interests, which ones performed the best. We got to look at more than just those 2 metrics. And then not excluding custom audiences. So I think you can build custom audiences based off of your current member base, and you can exclude current members from running your promotion. Also, rookie ad bidding. So there's lots of different options when you bid for ads. If you get there and you get stuck and you're not sure which option you should make, there's not really a bad option. I say rookie because one might be better for a certain market than another. And you may be able to easily tell that as you start running ads. So just let us know if you get hung up on that. And then the last one is not engaging the team. So if I am running an ad, but I don't tell my managers and my instructors, how can I expect them to, when people walk in, greet them with, hey, how did you hear about us? Did you just see our Facebook ad about this promotion? Or did you see, did your friend come here? You've got to engage with your team and make sure that everyone's on the same page so that everyone knows what's going on. All right, guys. I did it. I did it again. So I'm going to open it up to questions now. So if you have any questions about planning, about strategy, about social media, really anything that I can help you with as far as marketing, I'm going to kind of have this open forum now. So feel free to shoot them over in the questions area. If none come through, I'm going to assume that I bored you all to death, which I hope I didn't do. So please use the questions area. Let me know. And no question is a stupid question. Some of you might go, okay, Galen, way too much information for me. I just started on Facebook and I've got some, basic questions. Here they are. I'm going to go ahead and pop off for the day. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. And this recorded session will be made available mid next week on the portal. Thanks so much.